Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm the Game Bastard Kyle.
Todd. Flern.
I'm Austin.
We are continuing to play Blades in the Dark, game written by John Harper, distributed by Evil Hat.
That's some evil hat, Harry.
Yeah. Thank you, Todd.
You're welcome.
It's a game about criminals in a dark Victorian city doing crime.
Used to be. We're businessmen now.
That's true.
We're going to be.
Yeah.
We're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our first hostile takeover.
The KFC will be a completely legitimate business in 5 years, Kate.
It's the Always Sunny title screen. The gang gets a business.
Oh my God, I can't think of anything more appropriate for this particular setting.
We joke, but Tobin is seriously ready to make this a legitimate business.
Go straight.
He's changed his alias.
Oh.
He's no longer Tobin.
Oh.
He's the flannel.
What an appropriate combination of themes.
Yeah.
If you haven't picked up on the 3 or 4 inside jokes, go back one episode.
Yeah. And if you're not a fan of ones that stick, well, this one's going to have a half-life on it.
Uwe has decided to change his alias from the Haint to Bruce Flern.
Oh,
well,
that's a good
nice.
one.
Okay.
Todd?
Well, I'm still just Moonlight because nobody fucking uses it anyway.
You don't even use it, and you're the nickname boy.
I'm not against that nickname.
Okay, fine. It's real lame. I'll stick with it.
All right. So, Corey, who are you playing?
I'm playing the Flernal.
Right.
Tobin.
Tobin the Flernal. That's
Yeah.
his name.
Yeah.
And he's a...
Legitimate businessman in 5 years. Used to be a slide.
Oh, there we go. Austin, you're playing Robert Mitchum.
I'm still Moonlight Mitchum, the lurker.
All right. Todd?
Uwe, the Whisper, and also president of the Larry Dallas fan club. Larry Dallas, of course, the hilariously horny character played by Richard Klein on Three's Company.
Ah, yes.
In the last episode, the gang had just finished casing Helker Imports. Their plan is to assassinate the 2 primary owners of the business, Johann Helker and Elena Schmidt, to essentially set up a front company, a cover organization for their illicit activities.
Yes, that'll be our next piece of turf that we seize on our quest to gain control of the city.
And we already did the engagement roll, did that at the end of last session. You got a controlled position, which is the best you can start with.
Yeah.
Yep, so we already won.
So the scene opens onto an exterior shot of the principal. This is a multi-story brick and iron office building. It's in one of the busier districts in Night Market. The front of the building, there is a bustle of traffic, carriages stopped, people going in and out, office workers, customers,
Screaming goats.
screaming goats. A lot of activity. The camera pans around to the side to a discreet entrance on the back side of the building in an alleyway. And this is the entrance used by Johann Helker, the principal owner of Helker Imports, to get to his offices on the 3rd floor without having to rub elbows in the crowd. And it is this discreet entrance that Mitchum has just accessed. We see him putting his thieves' tools back in his coat pocket. All right, Austin, Mitchum is there. He's gotten into the entrance. He's picked the lock. What's your next step?
I know the boyos didn't want me laying out any elaborate plans like this, but I still think I should do a Home Alone type situation here in the stairwell since we got all this free time on me hands.
Absolutely, you should. The part of Johann Helker will be played by Joe Pesci.
And Elaine Schmidt by Daniel Stern.
So I'm going to use 2 pieces of gear here.
Okay.
And this is basically going to be to impede their movement if they were to make it inside the building.
Tar on the steps.
Well, something like it. So I'm going to be using my climbing gear
Okay.
and my arcane implements.
The stairs aren't that steep.
They're not that steep,
Okay.
but here's what's going to happen.
All right.
My arcane implements are made up of several artifacts and trinkets of various suspected magical use.
Okay.
Most of them are for simple superstition use as far as Mitchum's concerned.
Like a pentagram and a rabbit's foot and...
Yeah, lots of little implements, things like tiny jeweled objects that almost look like tiddlywinks and stuff like that. And
Wait, are you describing wampum?
Carry on.
so he's going to sprinkle a lot of that stuff along the edges of the steps
Okay.
to actually trip up anybody that might be climbing up. And what's also in there,
I just slipped on a 4-leaf clover.
I tripped over a tiny iron. Is this Monopoly?
Who put salt on the banister?
but what's also in there are a couple of containers of good old whale blood, because that's what we need.
Oh, Leviathan Ungent.
Yeah, for any arcane stuff that Uwe might be getting up to.
Okay.
So I'm going to attach those because we're going to assume that they're in these giant pouches, much like everything else in Duskball.
Sure.
So we're going to attach them to my ropes and my climbing gear where I can swing them across the steps and hit anybody in the face with them.
Okay. What is your intent behind all this madness?
Well, just a good time.
Is that attached to any sort of action roll?
No, but just to provide us with some sort of an advantage to our attacks whenever we do try to ambush Johann, and I'm assuming either his valet or his bodyguard, whoever is going to be entering the building along with him.
So this is a setup action, is what
Yeah.
it sounds like.
And then, of course, Mitchum is also ready to kind of drop from the rafters like a viper.
Okay, so what action best describes you going about and setting up all these traps?
I think I'm going to use survey
Okay.
in order to kind of find the best and most advantageous spots to trip them up and to impede their progress going up these dangerous metal stairs.
Yeah, make sure you record your uses of your equipment on your load.
I shall. And just as a reminder, everybody, since this is mostly undercover, Mitchum is using a normal load, so I've still got 3 slots, not counting our assassin rigging slots, which give us 2 free equipment uses.
Okay, so you're in a control position, standard effect. Do you have any injuries?
None that would impede my dice. The only injuries that I have are just going to knock down my effect a notch.
And what are those?
Bruised and grazed.
I don't think they would affect it in this case.
Well, that's just where they're marked on the table. They don't have to have an effect. That's just the only possible effect they could have.
Yeah, so roll your dice.
All right, I've got a 1 in survey. I am going to push myself because I have completely relieved my stress last time.
All right.
So I'm going to give myself 1 extra die and take 2 stress. Because I would also like to use this to possibly use my devil's footsteps to either give myself a boost to a feat of athletics or to use this to specifically confuse enemies so that they attack each other.
Well, there are no enemies here right now, so I'd say you could get into some sort of ridiculous position hugging the ceiling above the entryway door.
All right, so rolling 2 dice. Well, there's a 1 and a 3.
In a control position, you are setting out all these bits and bobs to rattle and crack if people come walking on them. There's whale blood pails positioned above, but you're not yet in the position you want to be when the doorknob starts turning.
I see. So the traps might work, but I am not in a position to attack.
Well, you're right on the other side of the door. You'll have to act very quickly to get into hiding before whoever is coming in comes in.
Ah, I see. All right, so I'm going to have to resist somehow.
Well, quick, Austin, shout in a child's voice, "Don't open the door, I've got a loose tooth tied to it."
That always gets me.
Well, you're a father.
Yeah. Yeah, you could resist with prowess and get up to your hiding spot as fast as possible.
I've got 3 in prowess, so I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, and you're going to be in a risky position.
Okay. There's a 5.
So you take 1 stress.
Okay.
That's from the tooth coming out.
Mitchum parkours up the wall and plants his feet in a corner so he's held in position by his musculature. The door opens, and he sees Johann Helker in a big overcoat walk in, followed by a driver and a valet in more domestic clothing. Not as fine, of course. Their smaller slider man, Helker, is a large, bulky figure. You can tell from their angle they're prepared to go up the steps.
All right.
What is Mitchum going to do, or is another character going to enter the scene?
At this point, they hear something rolling down the stairs ahead of them. Click, click, click. Multiple clicks, and then it rolls in front of them. It's a hard-boiled egg. And they look to the top, and they see the silhouette of Flernal Tobin.
Really sticking by this flannel thing.
It's official.
Oh, I
Do I have to
see.
roll for that?
I probably should make you, but I won't.
Seems like a more badass name would be like Tobin the Infernal.
Okay, the nickname boy. And basically, Tobin wants to serve as a distraction
Okay.
more than anything.
They're definitely distracted by the hard-boiled egg rolling down the steps.
And they see him. He's made sure he's standing with the light from the office cascading
Sure.
behind him.
Yeah. Who's this guy?
And he, like, strikes a battle pose to, like, make them fear.
And his toe flops out.
And
Yeah.
he's spinning his loose toe like a lasso. But they can't see it's a toe. It's dark. They only see the silhouette.
Yeah, it looks just like
they
it-
think it's a dangerous whip.
They don't know that it's some sort of terrible malformation.
Well, it's a hurt.
Okay, they're certainly focused on Tobin.
Okay.
So once the Flernal has made his entrance,
Don't use that name.
Ahoy.
you know what, Kyle? If I use his nickname, maybe he'll start using.
It's not going to work that way, Austin. But
I will,
go
the
on.
nickname boy.
That's not the one I was talking about.
It's a good one.
So now that he's got them good and distracted, Mitchum's going to swing out the 2 heavy buckets of whale blood on string. Hopefully
Sure.
aiming for them to swing right down on either side of Helker and
Yeah.
knock both of his compatriots off the steps.
You know, earlier when you said you were going to Home Alone this, I thought that was just a fun joke.
Well, Kyle, if there's one thing I'm known for, it's my subtlety of humor.
Quick question, Austin. Are either of the targets dressed as a homecoming queen?
I mean, I don't know. Live and let live, I say.
Yeah. Okay, Austin, what action do you think this is?
I think this is going to be finesse because I'm kind of having to aim this.
I agree. Yeah, I think finesse in terms of the timing and letting them swing at the right moment.
All right. So I have 1 in finesse.
Well, I mean, you set this up earlier, and I think your injuries are going to apply here because this is definitely muscle action. So, do you want your setup from before to give you improved effect or improved position?
Let's do improved effect.
Okay, so you're going to stick with standard effect. You're in a risky position.
Yep.
Can I interject something here really quick before Austin rolls?
Yeah.
I just want to apologize to Stephen King and Stephen King fans. Carrie White was, in fact, a prom queen and not a homecoming queen.
Thank you for that, Todd.
You're welcome.
I will appreciate not receiving those angry emails that I know people were furiously typing.
Yeah. She was still a murderer. Burn in hell.
So you're going to be at risky standard from your previous setup. Corey's Flernal Tobin is assisting you.
Spinny spin toe.
So you're going to get 1D from that. So you're what,
Okay.
at 2D right now?
Cool.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
I'm good.
I feel like 3 dice is better than 2, but okay.
It's a little early for that.
In Canada.
All right, roll your 2 dice, your meager tube. 3 would be better.
Here we go. That's a fucking 6, Kyle.
Yeah, up yours, buddy.
Yeah, well, if you had gotten a devil's bargain, it would have been a crit.
Dang it.
So the 2 Leviathan blood pails smack into these henchmen, the valet and the driver, cracking their faces, blooding noses. They go tumbling back, moaning in pain.
I have a question, Kyle.
Yes.
Uwe has not done anything yet, and I'm trying to decide what his action's going to be.
I assumed it was his emphysema.
No, that was Nathan.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Uwe breathes like a champion.
As evidenced by his speaking voice.
he has 2 lungs, and Uwe uses 1 lung, and Nathan
They
uses
share.
the other one. Nathan uses the asthmatic lung.
Oh, poor Nathan. Anyway, sorry, I derailed you.
That's fine.
But the kidneys are way worse.
They actually have 7 kidneys.
Yeah.
They don't know who used 3 of them.
They're like barnacles.
I know. Replace the pancreas.
We share a liver, though. I'm curious about the whale's blood itself. I know it is used
Why? Seems like a normal thing we all deal with.
You mean the demonic Leviathan blood?
Absolutely. It's the demonic portion that I want to focus in on. Now, I know that it is used as a fuel.
Yes.
So really, I have 2 questions. Question number 1, if it's fuel, is it flammable? My other question is if it is in fact demonic, would there be some sort of demonic midichlorian-like element in the blood that I could use my compel on?
No, it's not dumb.
So interesting question. So a lot of the setting information in Blades in the Dark purposely raises questions, and it doesn't give a lot of answers because it's up for your group to decide how you want to interpret things. And I would say it's an energy sword, so it absolutely has to be flammable. Because let's face it, it is fantasy oil, right?
Sure.
And in terms of demonic midi-chlorians, I don't know where you're going with that, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
So how I'm going to say this. I'm going to say... So, Todd, the Taikarosi know a secret about the Leviathans that nobody else does, and this is passed down through their arcane traditions. They know that when these demonic Leviathans are brought in by these giant battleships that the Leviathan hunters cruise in and dismantled bodily in the giant manufactories of Duskval, the Leviathans don't actually die. They can't die in that way.
They become force Leviathans.
Well, no, like they're still alive. They're just in different places. So this blood is very much alive in ways that mundane blood would not be, and it's just loaded with arcane eldritch power.
Yeah, but when the Leviathans come back now, it's Hayden Christensen for some reason. Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
That sucks.
Like, what happened to the
Because
old
it's
British
still
guy?
Alec Guinness. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, why does Anakin get to go back to his younger self as a Force ghost?
He was a bigger sinner.
Yeah. He killed women and children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no God in Star Wars. That's been proven.
Well, there's Eugene Levy. He's the god in Star Wars.
I forgot that Disney Plus show.
Everyone knows this. Anyway, yes, Todd, what would you like to do with the flammable demonic midi-chlorian living blood?
Okay, you know what?
We have officially written a better Star Wars. Just want to say.
You know what? I was leaning toward using my compel, but I think I've changed my mind. I wanna hold on to that one for a bit longer for let's say a more dire situation.
All right.
And I'm going to use an object from my load. I have a 3-object light load. The object I'm going to use is a large weapon.
Okay.
It's a flamethrower.
That is large.
I'm going to set them on fire.
Okay. I'll say you can benefit from Austin's earlier setup, given that they're covered in highly flammable demonic Leviathan blood.
And distracted by the twirling loose toe.
That's an interesting aside.
Just a bad day to be a henchman all around.
Yeah.
So Uwe pulls out the flamethrower and says, "As you are burning to death, I hope you can also hear the demons screaming."
Okay. And what action are you using?
Wreck?
Sure.
I would say
I think
so.
it applies.
I feel like it's a wreck. Yeah.
And I'm going to push myself because I don't have anything in wreck. So take 2 stress.
Well, I mean, I can help you with that. You don't have to push yourself. I'll give you a devil's bargain right now.
Can I do both? Can I push myself
Sure.
and get a devil's bargain?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that devil's bargain, Kyle.
Okay. Building's on fire.
Wait, the whole building will catch fire?
Well, eventually. This stairway's definitely on fire. Like, real good.
Don't worry, I've got seal urine.
Yeah.
The only thing that'll put out a well blood fire. You said we could do what we wanted.
That's true.
This is our story, not yours, Kyle.
Okay, rolling 2
There you go.
D6s. That's a 6.
Nice. Uwe cackling like a madman, hosing down these 2 employees.
Wait a second. I want to hear Uwe cackling like a wild madman.
Todd can do it.
Wait, here's one more blast because I think your souls are still dancing.
Jesus. Well, at this point, Johann Helker would have run out of the building, but the exit that he would have used, his discreet entrance, is all on fire. So he's simply panicking in place.
You're welcome.
Okay, at this point, the Flarnell Tobin would like to
Yeah.
use another item specific to slides called the Spirit Bane Charm.
Okay.
And of course, there's no explanation on what this does. I'm
Sure.
going to say it can bend the ghost Gustav, who's still with us,
Yeah.
to my will and grant him a bit of a corporeal presence in the world.
All right. So what are you wanting Gustav to do in that case?
Basically, I want Gustav, in revenge for his own murder, to open a spirit portal and shove his arm through it. And as Tobin shouts, "Give him the old Mo Howard." A spirit portal opens and his arm juts through and gives him a poke in both the eyes,
Okay.
blinding him for life
Oh, I see. All
before
right.
we kill him.
I was going to say for like the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
blunt.
I was kind of hoping you would say you were going to compel him to grab a fire hose.
We got seal urine. That's fine.
So since you are commanding a ghost,
Sway?
a tune is generally used to command ghosts, though you do have the power that lets you talk to them, right?
Ghost voice, and it gives me potency. And we're already pretty tight.
Yeah, you could sway the ghost to try to get him to do this.
Okay. I have a 2 in sway.
All right. Do you have any injuries that would apply?
Yeah, I've got flop toe.
So still risky standard then.
And I'm going to go ahead and push myself. So that'll give me a total of 3 die.
Okay.
It's a 6.
Ah.
It's like God wants Flern to succeed.
So there's this ripple in the reality of this stairwell. A hole into the nether void opens, and a ghostly spirit arm comes through. "I've got you now!" and pokes Helker in the eyes. Laughs, "Ha ha ha!" and recedes, and Helker, blinded, his eyeballs removed by the ghost, lies now screaming, pissing himself in the stairs.
The 2 fingers retract into the portal with eyeballs
Yeah,
around the second knuckles.
essentially.
Like sushi skewers.
Oh, this is Sam Raimi as fuck. dude.
I will wear these eyes in the afterlife. All right, so you guys definitely have Helker at your mercy. Though the flames are beginning to expand around the walls and walk up the steps.
Okay, Toby's going to use his unusual weapon.
Is it his toe?
It appears to be a small bagpipe, but what it actually is a bag full of seal urine. And he squeezes it to douse the flames.
Okay, so what action are you using to try to put these flames out?
I mean, he kind of more throws it like a water balloon kind of thing.
I don't need the details.
So I think it's more of a finesse.
There's a lot of fire. I don't know that finesse. I think this is prowl, like physically just getting it on as much of the flame as possible.
Or skirmish, getting into it with the flame.
You're fighting the
"Hey,
fire."
Stop it, flame.
I think it's definitely not skirmish. If you want to roll skirmish, you can. There'll just be no effect.
Oh, I see.
I could see survey or prowl.
Okay, I could use survey.
Okay.
I have 1 die. It's a 5.
So you're able to reduce the flames enough that you're not immediately in danger, but you definitely don't have enough liquid on you to put them out entirely.
Yeah, that shit ain't cheap.
Yeah. And Helker is scrabbling up the steps away from you guys, just moving by memory as much as feel.
Oh, but Kyle, what happens when he hits the marbles on the ground?
I don't know, Austin.
That was also part of the setup.
I didn't realize. What action you want to roll for him hitting marbles? That probably a tinker, maybe?
Maybe survey for the distribution of them across the...
No, like
Walking
tinker.
service.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, the perfect distribution of marbles.
Well, but this is what I'm talking about. All of the like arcane implements, all the like
Yeah, I know.
jeweled objects on the
Yeah,
ground, all that
and
shit.
I've letting you get away a lot of stuff there, Robert.
Is Mrs. Schmidt here at the present
She's
time?
upstairs in the office.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, she is.
You guys said you were going to intercept her up there.
Gotcha. Okay.
We'll deal with her in our own time.
Though, given the voices from upstairs, you're suspecting someone may have heard the altercation. What with the screaming and the flames and the ghost shrieks.
All right. Well, I don't have Tinker, so I'll just be rolling basically with disadvantage here.
You can have a devil's bargain.
Yeah, I don't think this is sophisticated enough of a strategy to necessitate a devil's bargain. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I'm just rolling 2 dice here.
And he's going to hit the marbles, and then what?
So I'm hoping that when he hits these marbles, of course, scrambling up the steps like he is, His feet fly right out from under him, and he falls bodily down the steps, hopefully snapping his spine in the process.
Okay, noted.
All right, I rolled a 3.
Helker is scrambling up the steps. He hits these marbles on the second landing. He's slipping and sliding, and set in one wall is a garbage chute. And he slams right into that, goes headfirst, tumbling down this garbage chute. You can hear his scream echoing up as he tumbles down to somewhere in the basement, which is unfortunately away from you.
Aye.
Unless you want to resist the consequences.
No, we'll let it go. We'll see what happens to him after we get done with Mrs. Schmidt up top.
Yeah, there's tumbling, banging sound as he ricochets down this garbage chute, and the three of you turn your attention to Elena Schmidt upstairs.
Actually, Tobin is going to make chase and slide down the garbage chute,
Gotcha.
scooping up a couple of marbles as he goes.
All right. Yeah, so it's going to be risky with less effect because of your injury. So roll. This sounds like prowl. It sounds like a physical action.
Or finesse.
Nope.
Okay, I'll do a devil's bargain.
So the devil's bargain is that the Spirit Bane charm that you use to ensure your interactions with Gustav were to your advantage, it is unfortunately falls out of your pocket and left upstairs when you go down into the basement.
Okay, so that gives me 1 die.
Yep.
It's a 4.
So you go tumbling down the garbage chute, land in a big pile of detritus. Johann Helker is there, stumbling away in almost pitch black. You can see a dim light somewhere in the distance. It looks like coming from beneath a door. And then down from the ceiling, you see descending Gustav Schmidt. Oh, guten Morgen!
Oh, hello, mate.
He's not talking to you at all. He's talking to Johann. Now's the time. And he swoops into Johann Helker's body. You see him go rigid. He'd been hunched over before, but then he stands and starts calmly walking through the dark towards the door. The boy's back in town!
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Johann Helker has been possessed by Gustav Schmidt. Upstairs, Mitchum and Uwe hear a voice from up top, a female voice. Is everything going okay down there? Does someone need help?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, smoke is billowing up the steps. What do you two do?
Uwe has a plan.
Okay.
Uwe's going to play his compel card.
All right.
He is going to call upon his strange friend, Nyrix,
All right.
the possessor ghost,
Yeah.
to possess Elena Schmidt.
So
Now, I have a question.
yeah.
Now, can Nyrix stay in there as long as she wants, or is it only a temporary possession?
Like in the metaphysical reality of the world, or based on what you do now?
Would I need to make Nyrix kill the body in some way, or could Nyrix just live in that body now? Like move in?
Yeah, Nyrix can move in, and nothing long-term bad happens.
That sounds kind of ominous.
Does it?
Yeah.
Now, you shouldn't. I wouldn't worry about it. Nyrix assures you.
Because I'm thinking if Schmidt is still there, if we make the possessed Schmidt part of the Flern team,
Yeah.
then it will not seem that out of the ordinary.
Yes, Nyrix has long been beseeching you to get her a body, and she tells you that,
And she's often dreamed of opening a Flern shop. Yeah.
and that she can possess someone indefinitely if the timing is right
It's the dream of every ghost.
and their mind were suitable.
So yeah, that's what I'm going to do using my compel.
Okay, yeah, roll your compel.
That is a tune,
Yep.
and I have 3 in my
right.
tune.
Nice.
And I'm going to say this is essentially to pull Nyrix from where she is elsewhere
Yes.
in the city, because you're not going to have to convince her to possess somebody.
Oh, no, not at all.
She's down.
A 5.
So there's this brief flare of bright light in the stairwell above, a scream, and the sound of running heels, and demoniacal laughter as you hear Nyrix pursuing Schmidt. So Nyrix has not yet caught Elena Schmidt, but she is hot on her trail. Meanwhile, in the basement, Johann Helker is trying to get out of the garbage room. What is Tobin doing?
Well, it's not Johann Helker. It's Johann as possessed by Gustav at this point, right?
Indeed, it's truly Gustav Schmidt
Okay.
wearing Johann's eyeless body.
So incognito.
So Tobin draws his pistol and points it towards Gustav Helker.
All right.
And says, "Wait a minute, mate. You can die again. We don't have to make it so. I'll let you keep that body if you'd like."
I already have it.
"Yeah, but I'll kill it, stupid." "Tell you what, I'm a fair man. Bit of a gambling man. Let's play a hand of cards. You win, you keep Helka. I win, you go back to whatever you do."
Yeah, okay. We can play cards.
So one of the slides special items is trick cards.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
Okay.
And we're going to play a nice game of blackjack, or what do they call it in this world? Goat jack?
Yeah, let's go, Jack.
Okay. And basically, I'm trying to gamble with him to abandon the body, if that wasn't clear.
Yeah, I assumed. So what do I get if I win? The body? Forever?
You get the body. Tell you what, I'll give you a pair of eyes, too. Better eyes.
I have eyes. And he takes Johan's hand out of Johan's pocket, and Johan's eyes are in his hand. I just puts them back.
I got better ones.
Okay. We can see how well you roll.
You can't see shit right now there, mate.
I think this is probably either sway or finesse. I can see an argument for either one.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a 2 in sway, so.
Okay. So I'm going to say this is desperate standard because...
It's dumb.
No, because Gustav really wants to be in a body, and if this doesn't go the way he likes and you can't convince him that it's in his best interest, or he gets any whiff of your cheating, he's going to immediately escalate to immediate violence.
Okay.
And for a little bit of background, this is something that is kind of a known danger in Duskfall, right?
Ghost possessing bodies?
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of those things that everybody says not to do.
Okay.
It's just like meth in Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do meth, not even once.
But
Or
then you do
twice.
it and you have a great time.
Yeah.
It's like, why did everybody lie?
Yeah.
I've been up for 6 days and there are federal agents everywhere.
Yeah. And these 3
This is
ducks are my
great.
best friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let the ghost possess you and running around like Leota and Goodfellas.
Literally got acne overnight and lost 5 teeth, but I feel great.
You see these helicopters? They've been following me all day, man.
Okay, I've got a 2 in sway. That's a 4.
So Gustav, you convince him, you win the hand. He's like, yeah, I will leave this body. The ghost lunges out of Helker's body, and it flops down, twitching and spasming. And Gustav says, because yours is so much better. And Gustav is going to try to possess Tobin.
Can't argue that. I own Flan.
So this is going to be a resolve resist, unless you just want to let him possess you.
You're not possessing me, not when I'm on the cusp of greatness with Flan, you fuck.
Fun is overrated. Roll your resolve.
Okay, I got a 3 in resolve.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's a 4.
So you take 2 stress.
Okay.
We see Gustav's spectral body lunge into Tobin, but there's this psychic battle of wills inside Tobin's mind. And how does Tobin eject Gustav? I mean, I know that it's a mistake to let you describe this, but you know what? You've earned it.
Well, Tobin has a spectral form, kind of like a Patronus
Sure.
kind of thing, in the shape of a chicken.
Yeah.
And they do battle, and it goes on for like inside of Tobin, it seems like weeks. But the chicken eventually just gets the right peck in and pecks him out.
It picks him with a peck.
Yes.
Yeah, Tobin is left on his hands and knees amidst all this garbage, sweating, dry heaving, and Gustav is henpecked and disappears wailing into the darkness.
No.
Meanwhile, Helker's starting to get his wits about him, such as they are. But meanwhile, upstairs, the other boys are watching Nirix, the possessor ghost, chase Elena Schmidt through the offices of Helker Industries. And Todd, you know the only thing to do right now is to grab Elena Schmidt, hold her down, use the demonic whale blood to paint crude demonic cruciforms on her body to allow Nirix an easier time maintaining possession.
Or as Uwe calls it, Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
All right. What action do you think best fits this?
Smear?
Smear.
We have smear? Yeah. Yeah, I think prowl is probably...
Yeah, to grab her.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll be using my prowl, and I'm going to push myself to get an extra
Is Mitchum assisting?
Mitchum has slid down the banister of the stairs and is
Into the fire?
he's taking the one prototype Flern blanket in his backpack and he's going to try and use it to douse the flames.
Don't use that. We'll say that.
Because we have reduced them.
So Flern is basically asbestos. Is that what we're arriving at here?
Well, the chickens of this world.
Sure.
Right.
They're asbestos chickens. I'll allow it.
Kyle, here at KFC, we prefer to use the term flaky.
Okay. Oh, God. It's so much worse. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You can fight
But
the
yes,
fire.
that's exactly what they are, and it's going to put out the fire.
All right. I mean, this is physical action, so...
It's basically like that orange sawdust you put on puke.
Yeah.
Which, flames in this world is the puke of
Keep going. No, keep going.
puke of hot.
It's like a puke sponge you can sleep on.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, God.
Puke sponge. That's how we'll self-learn.
All right. Both of you are rolling prowl for
Yes.
entirely different things.
Okay.
Here we go.
Dumbest.
I'm rolling 2 dice.
Me too.
I rolled a 5.
I also rolled a 5.
Both fairly good outcomes. Not the best, perhaps, but decent.
Enough to soak up some spit up.
So, Todd, Nirix's eagerness to have a body to call her own permanently is virtually uncontainable, and you've just barely dabbed the screaming Elena Schmidt with the last eldritch symbol to break down her psychic defenses. Nirix, in her spectral form, shoves through your body to get into Elena, successfully possessing her, but it does leave some protoplasmic damage to you. So take harm 1 psychic fraying.
But technically, wouldn't that have gone through Nathan?
Austin, you're going to take harm 1 singed.
Okay. Now, actually, I already have 2 slots filled on harm 1.
Oh, do you? Oh, that means nothing happens. Oh, except no. It means one of those goes to harm 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I pick which one?
What are they?
Bruised and grazed were the other 2.
Yeah,
injuries.
it doesn't matter. One of them, they're going to escalate, and singed will go and harm 1.
Okay, I'm going to change grazed to blazed.
There you go. I approve. Yeah, so blazed and harm 2. There you go. Yeah, if your harm boxes fill up and you take additional harm in that segment, it escalates.
All right.
But the fire's out. Schmidt is possessed by Nirix, who is assuring you that she's going to be a most useful addition to your cover operation, just as soon as she remembers the right way to hold her head like a normal functional person. Meanwhile, down in the basement, Johann Helker is flopping around like a dead fish.
Tobin pets him. Says, oh, calm down there, mate. The flannel's here to help you.
Just encourage him toward the light.
So are you going to finish Schmidt off?
Give me a hand there. And he places the 2 marbles in his hand that he snatched up before he went down the garbage chute.
Uh-huh.
Got your eyes back for you there, buddy.
He's essentially nonverbal at this point. It's been a traumatic morning.
Let me help you then. And he crams the marbles into his empty eye sockets.
Jesus.
And I'm going to use another item at this point.
Okay.
It's got 2 slots, but we're talking about demolition tools.
Oh, my God.
These are exploding marbles.
Okay, well, that's definitely wreck, I think.
Well, can I use command to make him put the exploding marbles into his own empty eye sockets? Or sway?
Definitely not. I don't think he could be swayed. I think he's in a state right now where he might be commanded to do it. So I would say command could work here.
Yeah, this is basically Ray Liotta once again being forced to eat his own brain by Hannibal Lecter.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, got a 1 in command.
You want a devil's bargain?
Yeah, sure. I accidentally put one of my own eyeballs in his. Oh, damn it. Oh, no, it's me toe.
I don't actually have any good ideas for devil's bargain right now, but I'm open to suggestion.
I mean, we could say Tobin accidentally implants one of the prototype dollhouse-sized pillows for Flern, and he loses it forever. And they lose that demographic.
Okay, here's the devil's bargain. You can't say Flern again.
What? I'm dead. I renounce my flernalism.
Game over, man.
So while you're handing him this and commanding him, he's not the most stable state, and he's stomping around and smashes your other foot.
No,
So you take harm one smashed toes,
Oh, no, not roast beef.
and they give you another die.
Okay, I have 2 die now. 6.
You guys have rolled a ton of 6s this
Yeah.
game. I still can't see. Blam! His head explodes. You're showered with Johann. And you hear a moaning Gustav. That was going to be my body.
Back to the shadows with you, Gustav.
And that's where we will end this score.
What? Why?
Well, I have to call my therapist for one.
This has probably been the darkest episode so far, I would say.
It's a lot of messed up stuff.
Yeah.
Started with Home Alone. It just got worse.
Ended
from
with
there.
home invasion.
Good Lord, Blades in the Dark.
And that was just another episode of It's Always Dark in Dusk Ball.
Yeah, indeed.
Oh, hey, next episode, the gang orders dice. You know where they order dice from?
Yeah.
NorseFoundry.com.
Oh.
If you want dice made from all kinds of rare and exotic materials, including seal
Eyes.
urine and whale's blood,
Human eyeball dice.
Norse Foundry is where you can find them. They are the official dice of Bastard Quest. And when you are at the checkout, enter promo code CHAM, that's CHAM, to receive the 10% Bastard Quest discount at NorseFoundry.com. And we would also like to thank our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River.
Made the mistake of sliding down the bathroom chute.
Yeah. That's the only way I go in there.
Landed in a sub bathroom.
I go up to the 3rd floor and I've leaped down the bathroom chute.
So many bathrooms.
It's very strange.
That place is
building.
like 60% bathrooms.
Yeah. Are we sure it's not haunted?
Each one has a different danger.
Yeah, there's a B&B on the door, but it doesn't stand for Barrel and Bond. It stands for bathroom and bathroom.
It's true.
You know why they have all those codes?
God damn.
Regulation.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm a libertarian.
Yeah. Thanks, City Hall.
Get out there and vote.
But thank you to our fans and our Patreon members. We appreciate it, especially if you've listened to this part of the episode.
Yeah.
Wow, you are a real bastard.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for your likes. Thanks for your listens. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.